welcome to this episode of the AI Show. Hello, my friends. It's another fabulous Monday, and I'm excited to be here to talk to you all about AI. We have some fun stuff planned for you. I keep teasing about like, hey, we have this really cool thing that we're doing with respect to Copilots, and so I thought I would spend the hour today just walking through an entire Copilot thing that's completely public. So, yeah. So why don't you tell me where you're coming from, what you're doing, what you want to know, and this show will be all for you. So I'll get my pandemic purchase. Today we're going to talk about the Contoso chat. This is like Contoso chat for us is our this is our beloved store. Many a software have been written for Contoso chat. It has software for everything. It is absolutely delightful. So Contoso chat, Copilot. Obviously, and maybe this is like zero. I'm going to tell you about the. I'll tell you about the AI. Hold on. Let me delete this here. I want to say it right because then people will get upset with me. The Microsoft. Microsoft. I think I have an extra. By the way, tell me where you're coming from, and I'll give it a shout out here. Microsoft AI Tour. I'll tell you a little bit about that. So that's number 0. And then number 2, these are out of order, I think. Number 2, we are going to talk about shoot, I lost my train of thought. I can see your questions like right here in the thing. I'm like, oh, that's a good question. And so I totally lost my train of thought. So we'll do Contoso Chat Copilot, and then some news, right, about events. So maybe we'll do those. We'll do those things first for you all, because let's see here. Microsoft announces events. Here we go. The latest. There was a thing that talked about, like, somebody talked about all the events and stuff, but we'll get to that shortly. All right, so let's get into the tour thing. There's a couple of stops here that I'm gonna be at. By the way, the screen that I have is like right here, so if I'm looking down, look at the screen. Couple of events here that we're gonna stop at. By we, I mean the royal we. These already happened. These ones. These were like, I went to this one. 'Twas amazing. This one was really fun too. So, coming up next, if you want to visit me, Paris, France, March 13th. That's next week, a week from Thursday. I will be delighted to be among tous les Françaises. Je veux dire quelque chose en français. My French is like book French, I've been told, so pardonnez-moi. Pardonnez-moi. And then the second is I'll be in Berlin for the AI tour in Germany. So I'll be there for that one. And then right after that, Sao Paulo, Brazil on the 21st. And so come say hi to me again in Paris, the 13th. In Berlin on the 14th. On the 14th. I'm sorry, 19th. and then in Sao Paulo, Brazil, on the 21st. So those are the ones I will be to. If you are in any of those locations, hit me up so that I can, hang out with you. Okay, so that's what we got going on for that. Then there was Microsoft announced like when like the build was the Microsoft build, but I got to find it first. Uh, uh, Microsoft build 2024. Okay. Microsoft tweeted, not now. Here it is. Here it is. This is here we go. Because I don't want to announce things that haven't been announced yet. If you are interested in Microsoft Build, May 21st through the May 21st through the 23rd, save the date. Save the date, please. Save the date for that one. So that one's the 21st to the 23rd. Hopefully they'll let me do stuff there. So that's the 21st, May 21st, and this is one of my favorite conferences. I have been to almost every single one of them since the very first one. So yes, make sure you go to that one if you can. If not, watch online for sure. Okay, so with that, I think that's it. Let's see. I think I don't want to say anything, but I'm gonna. I thought I saw when the next. Uh, mm, 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 mm. Let's see. Here it is. Here we go. This is the thing I was looking for. So this is this came out like what, a couple days ago? 2023 was a year of exciting growth and innovation here at Microsoft. It's true. It's true. So this is the AI tour. So far, we've welcomed thousands. That's right. Tour stops remain in Berlin, Paris, Sao Paulo, and Seoul. I might go to that one. So I don't know. We'll see. That one's in April. And then Microsoft Build is in Seattle, Washington, May 21st through the 23rd. I just said that. Microsoft Inspire, July 2024. This is public stuff. So, and then finally, Microsoft Ignite, November 18th through the 22nd in Chicago, Illinois. So that's what's going on there at that moment in time. So there you go. There you have it. Those are the events that we have going on. The one that I'm most preparing for right now, and we're in the throes, is this one right here. What will we show? I don't know. So there you go. All right. So where are folks coming from? Did anyone say where they're coming from? They did not. But let's see what some folks are saying here, question-wise. From the chat, we have... hey. Hi, Rohit. How you doing, my friend? Here's one. Can we deploy the flow in Azure AI Studio or Azure Machine Learning to AKS through SDK or your portal? Currently, it's just CLI. Great question. I think we're going to show some of that. If not, I might call Cassie, like on my phone, and hook it up to my soundboard and just be like, "Hey, Cassie." She's smarter at me than this at this part. Here's another one. Oh, no, it's not just CLI. You can even do AKS. If only there could be a Copilot that could help with all the AI tour specials. I know. Hopefully, we'll do more. The ones that I showed are just through this. Our fiscal year ends in July. Starts in July, and so at the end of June, that's what we plan through. Yeah, here's the AI tour if you want to know more. Envision.microsoft.com. Here is the if you want to get to know more about the build. Too much NDA. No, never NDA content on a public channel. Oh, are you? Yeah, it's really cold. Are you? Have you already arrived for the MVP Summit, Gaston? Gaston. I said it all French because, like I said, I'm going to the AI tour next week. Actually, Friday for France. Okay, let's get started here with what we're going to be doing. Contoso Chat Copilot. So let's start first with where you get this stuff. Let me find the GitHubs here. GitHub.com, Azure AI Contoso Chat. So you can go here and you can. Oh my gosh, I'm so dumb. Uh, Gaston moved here 5 years ago from Uruguay, and I'm all like, "Oh, are you here for the MVP Summit?" Yes, and also life. Oh my gosh. Here's another question. Can I integrate LLM application using prompt flow using Microsoft Copilot Studio on MS Teams channel? Wow, that's a lot. Uh, I know for sure you can do prompt flow with MS Teams channel, but you'll see, like, you can integrate anything because at the end of the day, like, these things are basically just endpoints. So, all right. Here you go. Here's Azure. If you go to Azure Samples, GitHub.com Azure Samples, and then go to Contoso Chat, you will find everything in there. I hope. So there you go. All right, and notice our esteemed Cassie Breviu made this project, and then we have a bunch of other amazing folks contributing to it because this is what we literally when we go to the AI tour, this is what we show. Like I do sessions on this stuff or workshops, and then all these fine folks helped with the workshop with the various and sundry things. And there's instructions here to show you how to do all the things. It's very official. I mean, I make demos that are like show ready, which means that only I can run them. So these people make it super official. You know what I'm saying? All right. All right. So let's go to this thing over here. And one of the things that is important to note is that there is some notebooks that you can run. Now, I I'm a dev, right? And so I was a dev for like a decade, and then I went and did data science, in school after I was a dev. And so notebooks are awesome for experimentation. I don't like them for development. I mean, is it just me? They feel sloppy. It feels like sloppy. This is sloppy to me as a dev. I think I I think I just dropped some news right now. Seth Juarez does not like notebooks for standard development, but loves them for data science experimentation. News at 11. Look, it looks like I'm not dropping news. David here is telling us, great for showing code with augmentation for sharing, but yeah, I agree. Don't run prod on Python notebooks. Thank you, David. I know. I thought it was just me, but like, I don't like them. But we put them here precisely for two reasons. I'll give you a hint. For code and for documentation. Look at this. Look at this. Thank you, David. Contributor number one here on that. Okay, and so I've run some notebooks already so that you can see what this is like. This takes like I started running this like a half hour ago, and these things are all done, and so it's pretty zippy. Um, Looks like this took 5 minutes. That's the longest one. It's because the machine needed to start up, and everything else was pretty zippy. And so I'll tell you what these are. So if you're running these things, that's cool. The first thing you need to do is you need to drop your keys into this thing. and I am not going to make the mistake of clicking on this file. I am actually really trying hard to not click on this and then drop all my keys, because then I'll have to rekey everything, and ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. So I'll show you the sample emb. You got to put all your keys in here. There you go. There you go. You should not put these things into keys. So I'm going to close this, and we will not revisit this because because I'm not this is like I'm telling myself, you are not going to show everybody your keys. It's just not happening. It's not happening. Okay, so let's talk about each of these prompt flows here. And let me go to Contoso chat. Let me go to the flow.dag. So prompt flows, I've shown you prompt flows in Azure AI Studio, but it feels, for some reason, folks think that it kind of all just lives there. It doesn't. It doesn't. Um, Actually, let me just go to it here. ai.azure.com here. We're opening the studio here. Hold on, it's a little slow, so let me connect to my fast internet here real quick, because I want this to be a good demo. So let's get the good internet going here. I got the good internet going. So let's go to the Contoso store. I deleted all those. Why are they still showing up? And you're used to seeing like this stuff in here, right? I need to start this runtime here, so it's a good thing I started here. Start. Cool. Let me start some machines here. The gerbils are running. Uh, what is that? Did I just get some shade from? He's like, I've never heard that sound before. How old are you, Seth? Yeah, I know. You're thinking the 56K. Do you remember when the internet was measured in Ks? I remember one time I remember I had this cable and the internet wasn't working. I was like 14 years old, and it was this like T cable. I wish I had one. And the internet would not work. And then they're like, "Oh, you've got to plug the end." Apparently, internet would just spill out of the end, and you had to plug it. It was so dumb. Now I feel old. But anyways, when you're looking at these things here, yeah, I'll get to that, Rohit. I got like an hour. I'll show you. Just on managed compute, yeah. On AKS, like I'm not deploying things right now. I'm just testing them. But deployment, like I'll show you. Okay, fine. He keeps asking, and so this is for you. This is for you, Rohit. So if you want to deploy a prompt flow to do whatever you want, all you have to do is hit this button, and then you can do whatever you want. Because at that point, it's just a Docker file. It's just a Docker or a local app. So push that button, and then you can do whatever you want. So that's the niceness of this part. But great question, Rohit. Maybe we'll, as another show, we'll be like how to build as Docker and deploy to ACA, or we'll do. I like Azure Container Apps because I had to do a Kubernetes once, just one, not a full Kubernetes, but I had to do a Kubernetes. It was rough. That's why I like ACA. But anyways, so here is the Contoso chat thing. Yeah, this is a VS Code extension. Yeah, so there is a pf deploy command. He keeps asking. So you don't have to use VS Code. Um, uh, Prompt flow Microsoft. Uh, like if you go here, you can see deploy your flows. Deploy a flow. It's all right here. Like we even have Kubernetes plural right here. So you can actually see build. So hopefully that helps. Um, Yes. Yes. And then here's how, like, it's all here. I wasn't trying to be rude. Did I just do like RTFM? That's not what I was trying to do. I wasn't trying to do RTFM. Forgive me. But yeah, you can actually see here. You can actually run a local dev server. You can serve it locally and see what it does. You can do it with a Docker. You can do it with plural Kubernetes, or you can deploy as an app. All right, so it's an executable, and you can see everything's in here. It exports this stuff for you. It's all there. We're not hiding things. But yes, thank you, Rohit. Okay, so let's get into this. The first thing we wanted to do is we want to build. What we're effectively building is, let's see if I have this. Contoso. Here we go. So we're building this outdoor company thing, where when I talk to it, I'm like, hey, what can't? Doesn't matter. I can spell it wrong. Why can you tell me about your jackets? Because the LLM, in theory, should not care, right? Like I like purposely. You see that? It's like I like spelled everything wrong, and it doesn't care because we trained this on the internet, and it's like, hi Sarah, we have two great jackets that I think would be perfect. Hold on, I feel like this is a sales thing. Hi Sarah Lee, we have two great jackets that I think would be perfect for your outdoor adventures. The Summit Breeze jacket is a lightweight, windproof, and water resistant jacket with adjustable cuffs, reflective accent, and of course, zippered pockets. Perfect for hiking. Being a platinum member, I see that you previously purchased our Trailblaze hiking pants. These would go great. Great. With either jacket. Thank you, Contoso Copilot, for being so friendly. And I also like like in this thing. If you're looking at this app, by the way, this is also available, so you can see how we done did it. Like, so you can just go here, Contoso. I know. Can't go outdoors without zippered pockets. I know. Thank you, Chat Copilot. Uh, Bossa Nova always goes great with a sales pitch. I know. That's why I have a button devoted to that on my Stream Deck. So this website that you're looking at is actually here. So you can totally just grab that. So I'm not hiding anything. The only difference between this build and this build is this one is protected. So if you go here, it's going to ask you to log in. And only Microsoft employees do it because I wanted to save tokens. I don't want y'all using up all my quota tokens. And then you can see the answer that comes back is the answer as well as the context that it used to formulate the answer. So this is basically an endpoint that's using prompt flow. Um, um, that does all this stuff. So the input that goes in is this, and this is the output. Okay. So this is what we're building. And you're wondering why it's calling me Sarah Lee. It's because Sarah Lee is actually currently logged in. Here's Sarah Lee. She's amazing. Uh, there you go. So that's what this Copilot is. And you're going to see that this Copilot is not built very well. And the purpose of this repo that I show you is to show you the evolution of a Copilot that goes from garbage to something that's better. Because believe it or not, because this is all software, you can still make garbage with this. Yeah, you can still make garbage with this. And we don't want that. So that's what this whole thing is. So if you look at this entire Contoso chat, it's basically an exercise in making this whole Contoso Copilot chat the best. And the one that you're seeing being used right now, and I'm going to break it so you can see that why it's so crappy. Like I gave this stuff to Cassie and she's like, Seth, dude, this is crappy. She didn't say that because she's nice. She's like, oh, let's see if we can't make this better. I heard what you said, Cassie. Inside your head. So let's see if we can open this here. Contoso flow.dag. So here it is. So this is the actual Copilot. So if you download the code, this is what you're gonna see. So let me move this over here. I kind of hide these things. I don't hide them. I just make them. The extension lets you just do stuff with it, right? So if you look at this here, you'll see that we have our inputs, and the inputs are exactly the thing that you saw that we passed the prompt flow, and even down to like the question that I ask it is what can, because that's what I test it with all the time. But it's not necessarily the best thing. There's a lot of videos on like getting started with prompt flow. In fact, I've made them before. I'll refer you to those. But effectively, here I'll just let me just make a folder and show you what it looks like to make one. So we're going to say a new file. We'll say a new folder, and we'll say test or pf new, right? So if you're in a folder, prompt flows have to exist in a single folder. All you have to do is right click and say new flow in this directory, right? And that's it. And then it will build like a basic here, I'll just do it. It will build a basic prompt flow for you, right? And then if I hit this thing, you'll see there's a basic prompt flow, and I'm just going to use an OpenAI connection that I already have there, and that's it. I mean, I literally just built the prompt flow. So if I run it, let me go to the inputs. Please input a value. What is the meaning of life? Right? Just run it in standard mode, and it should just like work. Do you see? Oh no, I think I must have the wrong connections in there. So let's try a different one. AOAI connection. Uh Modulo connections. And so if you're like, well, it didn't work the first time, why not? Well, let me make sure it works this time because I think I just picked the wrong connection. It should, there you go. It's working now. There you go. The meaning of life is a question that has puzzled humans for, hold on. The meaning of life is a question that has puzzled humans for centuries. We'll have different views on this topic. Some believe that the meaning of life is to find happiness. Wow, man, I just changed the whole tone of the show. I feel like I need to whisper. But anyways, as you're going here in prompt flow, there is this cool handy dandy connection thing. I just had the wrong connection in there. You just add them here. And connections point to various services. So that's how you make a new prompt flow. By the way, and so notice that I was like, I'm not going to do that now, and I was like, why wouldn't I not do that? It takes like 2 seconds, except for my mistake. I know it's like a philosophy bot. Which AI service makes those noise? Kirit, I think you've stumbled upon an important service that I need to make. I need to like make a service that listens to us and then plays the appropriate sounds in the background. Like I feel like that is now my mission. No longer Contoso bot, also philosophical bot. Indeed. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, so that's how you build one. And you're probably thinking, well, it feels like you've elided a couple steps. Yeah, I had to pip install this stuff. Right? This needed to be installed. So there you go. So I'm going to delete this because I'm not checking this in. Oh. Wow. I don't know. I feel like we're like at another crossroads in our lives where we have an irreversible decision to make. What do we do? I don't know. Bye. Okay. Oh no, it's busy. It's on the eBus. It's on eBus Y, so it can't do it. It's probably because it's being run and it's open. So I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna stop this. Stop this. Now let's try it. Delete. Goodbye. Goodbye. Okay. So this is the Contoso chat, and so here's a question from Rohit. All good questions. How can you use it? How do you use existing indexes, create an Azure AI search and VS Code PF extension? Can you show the mapping of fields? Yes. So regular Contoso, regular Contoso. I know you're busy. Uh, so here's the question embedding. So when the input comes in, what I'm doing, because this is the one I built that's not so good, and you're going to see immediately why in a second. What can you tell me about your jackets? The first thing I do is I take this question and I send it through the embedding, right? And this is a question embedding. It's using an AOAI connection, and it's using Ada 2. And so notice that the input is like, what can you tell me about your jackets? And then the output is this ginormous vector. I think it's 1,523 long. So that's what this is doing, right? And that's what I like about prompt flow is that you can actually see, like, this is really nice to debug. No, Rohit, I'm not going to show you with the tool. I'm going to show you just with code because I think I want to get to the so Rohit's asking about tools. Uh, when you click this plus thing, there's a bunch of tools that you can use. You can also build your own tools. So, for example, when you see, you're like, what? Did I just see LangChain in here? What? Yeah, you can build your own tools and have them directly inside of. I built one for LangChain. Um, uh, there's also this index vector DB lookup tool. I honestly don't know how to use this one. I've never used it. Um, so I actually use this. This then takes the vector, the question, and the vector input. You can see like questions, Contoso products, and then embedding output. And this actually looks up stuff. So let me see if I can't find the vector index. So I'm going to move this over here real quick. Portal.azure.com. Portal. Portal. And by the way, he's saying I feel like index lookup has some issue when we try to map existing indexes from AI search through PFI. We can. We want to know through the index lookup tool. So the index lookup tool doesn't do anything different than what I'm going to do. And so if it doesn't work for you, we should definitely fix that because that's a problem, right? We need to fix that. Having said that, um, let's see, Contoso Outdoors. Having said that, feel free to just use the code. So by the way, here's an existing index that I built, and here's the indexes that I have. I have a couple. I have one for Contoso products. I have Contoso manuals index CF, and then I have Contoso manuals. So here is the products index, and if you see, like the search index has like this is for sales, basically all for sales. Uh, so there's the file path. There's the embedding of the actual content, right? Which is the step into the great outdoors with compact cooking stove, a convenient, lightweight, durability, quality, and peace of mind. Be wild, be free, be cooked. Be cooked for with the compact cooking stove. By the way, this copy was written by GPT-4. GPT-4. It's so good. Whether you're camping with family or hiking solo, this reliable portable stove is essential. It is an essential addition to your gear with its sturdy construction and safety-focused design. The compact cooking stove is a step above the rest. By the way, and if you're looking at this, the compact cooking stove, I also made Dolly 3 make the image for it. Where are you at? The compact cooking stove. Step into this. Literally this thing. By the way, this is a Dolly 3 generated compact cooking stove. I used prompt flow to actually, because the only we paid someone to make like the manuals for this. I made prompt flow push this manual into GPT-4 to generate the copy and to generate a prompt for Dolly 3. Yeah, and this is what it came up with. Look at this. Look at this beautiful footage here of the compact cooking stove. Okay. Okay, so there you go. That's the index. This, by the way, was an existing index, Rohit. An existing index, and so that's important to know. Uh, and for existing indexes, notice that I'm just using this thing, and this thing is code. So we still need to update this because I think we pinned. If it doesn't work for you, I think we pinned our AI search thing to 11.4.0 because something changed. And so this code might change with updates, and we'll obviously have to fix that. Okay, so notice that we have the search client, the vectorized query. This comes from the search. No, not this. This comes from the custom search thing. You see that? We have a Contoso Cosmos, right? And then we have a support endpoint, a chat endpoint for other things. But then we literally just like call it, and then we output the docs in the format that we want. So that's what the prompt flow is doing. So Rohit, he's saying that the index lookup tool doesn't do what we want. Um, like you can totally just take this code and just do this because this does exactly what I want, which is nice. And then once we get this, then on the other side, we are doing a Contoso Cosmos. We're looking up a Cosmos DB customer. This is just regular code that takes some customer ID, custom connection, and then boop, beep, boop. Oh, and the other thing I found with prompt flow is as I was debugging, I was noticing that I was not getting the results I want. It's because somebody's orders were overflowing the prompt, and I would have never caught it. Oh, sorry, just got sleepy. Ooh. So there you go. So let me show you what that looks like when you output it. So on the inputs, you have customer ID 2, and then the outputs of this thing. There you go. Looks like they only have one order. Jane Doe. And then the customer prompt is this thing. Notice that it's just iterating through the documentation that it gets. It's iterating through the previous orders. Uh, and then it's giving some further instructions. And then it's going through the chat history. But notice we're not doing anything with the chat history. And then the other thing is hopefully you've noticed, you're like, oh, Seth, you dumb. The question that's coming in is always getting embedded and asking. And so if in the chat, like, let's go back to this. Let's go back to the chat here. If in the chat I'm all, oh, it lost state because I'm not maintaining state. That's the other thing I didn't do. We're still working on that. Let's go back to the front here, and then let's just say, what can? Oh no shoutiness. What can you tell me about your jackets? Very nice. But notice I'm like, if I say something like what? Notice that this what will get embedded, will go through this thing. And so that's why the LLM is like, how can I help you today? If you're looking for, notice it has no idea about this thing because I haven't done anything with it, right? And that's a problem, right? That's what makes this prompt flow good for show, but not for deployment, right? And I did this because I was like trying to get like a demo done. I did this for was it Ignite? Yeah, Ignite, Microsoft Ignite last year. Because I only have like 3 minutes to show something, and so I show this, right? But we'll make improvements as we go. And then once this customer prompt, it goes into the LLM, and the LLM, I found that the last thing you tell the LLM to do, it's usually super helpful. And so this LLM basically does that. This part of the prompt, it gets added to the previous prompt. So the question is, does the Contoso web repo call your prompt flow endpoint? Yes, it does. It calls. I guess I can close this window. So if we go back to this one, it actually calls the deployment of this. This was deployed uh, to Contoso Chat Store, right? And you can see that I'm using the existing one. Notice that it's Contoso Chat Store 1 because there's already deployment. And then if I go to this deployment, you're going to see I don't care about it. It's the Contoso Chat Store. This doodad. I don't know if you can test it. Let's see. Oh yeah, I guess you can. What can you tell me about your jackets? This is already in there, uh, but it expects chat mode as well, and so uh, I'm subverting this. So you can also see in monitoring that I literally just called it this morning, right? And you can see in the logs. Hopefully, it doesn't leak anything. Yeah, see that? You can see the calls that I made, which is soup's cool. Soup's cool. There's another one that's missing, but it'll make the log eventually. So yes, it is definitely going there. Okay, and then finally, once it does that, it does the LLM call, and then out of the end of the thing, you can see the outputs both. It outputs both the response and the documentation, and this is important for evals. He's saying, I asked because we've deployed from Playground, which goes into a basic web app, but this looks much cooler. Yeah, so the basic web app that you've deployed is something called On Your Data, and that is nice. But this is, if you want to get more specific with the stuff that you want to do, this is a way to do that. In fact, I don't know why I got so tired on it. You go to your playground, and you do an Add Your Data thing, uh, like this. Add your data source, AI search, and then go to Contoso search. Contoso search. There's the index. Yeah, we'll use that one. Yes, next. Oh, this is all good. If you do this, I think this will work. What can how what is your return this is did the products one, so this is gonna have an extra products. What jackets do you have? And then hopefully this works. Oh, so this is, notice this is the same thing that I just did before, but a little bit different. So you can actually customize this in prompt flow and open it up, or you can deploy this as a web app, I think. But I haven't done. There you go. You can deploy this as a web app. But in this case, like, you can open it in prompt flow and then go through the whole prompt flow process as well. Okay, so now that we've done this, the question is, do we know? Oh, the other question is the repo. The repo Microsoft doesn't show which meta prompt is. It doesn't. It doesn't show it to you because it uses the meta prompt that's built into this. If you want to customize it, it's because it's like, think of it like as a service that just does the basic, retrieval augmented generation as a service, and then we update the prompt to make sure it does better. But if you want to manage it yourself, you just hit customize in prompt flow, and then you manage it yourself. So there you go. There you go. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. So yes, this is deployed. Our Contoso chat is deployed here. Notice that you can actually see the hits that I've gotten. So there's Contoso chat. Took about two or so seconds, right? Looks like you can look at stuff in Azure Monitor. So that's all there. So you can see I literally did it. He jailbreak the meta prompt. Yeah, we have ways of making that better now, so we will probably have to turn that. But yeah, the meta prompt, I think we just give it away anyways. Like, if you open it up, if you do the open in prompt flow, it just works. Okay, so now the question becomes: this is great, Seth. Does it work well? And then this is barring like the issue of like the silliness that I do with the answer context. Right. So barring that silliness, so let's just assume that the question is always asked correctly. How do we manage to test that this is doing the right thing? So let me show you, by the way, how to run prompt flows in code. You create a PF client, and then with that PF client, you can with that PF client you can pass in the stuff you want, right? So in this case, notice here's the flow. It's the folder. Here's the things you're passing in, and then you're calling run local flow, and then this output stuff. So, for example, if I change the customer ID to like I don't know 2 tenths, and then I run this again, it's going to run this prompt flow, right? And so this is the code that it's running. It completed. Here's the answer. Hi, Jane Doe. Thank you for your question about our tenths. Based on your purchases, I remember that. Do you see that? And so it's doing all this stuff, and that's Jane Doe. So let me change it to someone number 6, and you can see that it should have like a different answer, right, for a different person. So this is Emily Rodriguez that's answering. Yeah, this was like, "Hi, Emily. You already got a tent, both of them." Wow, this is cool, right? And so you can see like it's pretty cool, like. And the thing about these LLMs is the way I think about them is you should use them like language calculators. Like they may be able to do more later, but like for now, I think the right thing to do is to think of these things as language calculators. And effectively, what PromptFlow is doing is it's grabbing text to put into a prompt to let the LLM calculate over this stuff, right? So that's what's going on here. So let's talk about evaluating this stuff. Um, let's talk about evaluating this stuff. So evaluation is also another prompt flow. So this is the thing that's important. So notice that it's doing an evaluation here of this stuff, and then it gives you like an answer. So groundedness is an evaluation from 1 to 5, and what it does is it measures how grounded is the answer that the LLM provided. This, how grounded is this in the context that came out? And so as you're looking at this here, let me add some code here. If I look at the output has more than just the thing, right? Because remember, we actually told it to output the context as well, and this is the context. And so the groundedness measurement measures how grounded is the answer in the context. And notice, since we're thinking of these things as language calculators, then it we should probably use an LLM to judge it. And so that's what we do. So if we go to this LLM thing, this is another prompt flow. I don't know why it does it that way. And here is the actual groundedness. The inputs. The what are you doing? The inputs. Am I clicking on the? Oh, that looks like a bug. But anyways, the inputs are question, context, answer. The prompt. The prompt is actually right here. You can see it's basically few shot learning. Let's word wrap this. You are an AI assistant given a definite evaluation metric for assessing. You will give it a context answer, blah. 5, if the answer follows logically from the information contained in the context. And then it is a couple of few shot examples, right? This is completely editable, right? You can totally change this. And so the way you run this test is just like you would expect. You run it like another prompt flow. But the difference is that you are actually inputting the values of the previous prompt flow into the groundedness prompt flow. And then when you do that, you get this score. So for example, let's see if we can't mess it up. So we just got this one. Let's rerun the groundedness one. By the way, the groundedness prompt flow uses GPT-4. Oh, it's done. And notice that, oh man, it just did a good job. It just did a good job. So I got to find a way to like, let me inject like different. Let me force it to give you to like be wrong, to be out of context. Uh, let's see. What do we want to put in there? The Great Wall of China can be seen from space. Thank you. Yes. So now this is going to get a wildly awful score. Do you see what I'm saying? Because the answer does not follow from the context. And so that's how this is used. And this is cool, right? Because you're like the thing I don't like about this stuff is sometimes I feel like this stuff gets too magical to the point of like non-utility. And so here I'm showing you like effectively. And then what you can do is you can actually be more clever and like run multiple flows at once, right? So for example, here why does it do that? Here is a prompt flow. I haven't that branches to different prompts. So here's one for fluency, right? Notice that there's like subfolders. And so now it's running a bunch of tests at once for fluency, coherence, etc. And notice that these things have like their own DAGs that you can run. And so now this is starting to become a project, right? And so how do you run the multi-flow? Just like this. But notice that now the answers you get have multiple responses. And let's just like let's just see if we can't mess it up. The great thank you. And so now this thing's going to run, and notice that groundedness and relevance terrible, but fluency and coherence are good, meaning that like the answer is coherent, it's fluent, but it's not grounded, it's not relevant. And so now notice that you actually have a way to test this stuff, and this is probably the best part of all of it. Okay, so I want to get. I've been answering questions as I've gone through, and we're nearly out of time here. And so I want to show you that these things can also be tested in AI Studio. And the way you test it in AI Studio is first off, you push the run up. And so this is pushing a batch run. Notice that it's taking some sales test data and it's running this thing. And you're like, well, what is run Azure Flow? It's this. And this Cassie added as a convenience. Cassie added as a convenience to make sure the run names were unique, right? And you can get a sense for what's going on. And so this run effectively is running a batch, is running a bunch of these prompt flows, running this prompt flow on a bunch of data. So let me go to the eval and show you this. Where's the data? Oh, I wonder where the data is, Seth. And so if you go to here, you'll see I'm using sales test data. And this is just like a bunch of a JSON file, a JSON-L file that has lines for everything that you want to test, right? Which is super cool. Okay. Oops. And so if we go back to this notebook here, let me go back to the eval. This takes this base run and runs it in the cloud with all of them. It gets all the outputs. And then notice that it's going to run an eval with the same test data, but then use the outputs from the other one, which is this evaluation flow. Does that make sense? Oh, hopefully this makes sense. So I'm looking at this. Let me go to run eval flow, go to definition. Notice that we have a run name. We're running this flow. We're passing in this data, and this is the column mapping, etc. This is the run name. Oh, sorry. Here's the Azure eval flow. My bad. Because this one needs the run name that it's basing it on. Right. This is where I was getting confused. Okay. So this is the run name. So we run the evaluation, we run the prompt flow, the base prompt flow on all of the data, and then we run an eval on top of that, so that we can actually rerun evals. This is just to save tokens. And so now that I've done this, you're going to see that it's going to output all the scores from all of them. There you go. And this is outputting it to Azure AI Studio. And you're probably saying, well, where is it outputting it to? Well, in this handy dandy evaluation doohickey, you're going to see hopefully some evaluations. Hold on, I got to use the good internet. Give it a second here to. Connecting. I think I got it. Oh man, it's time for the walk-off music. I don't know why it's not opening. Open for me. Open. I think my internet is not working. There's no way it's working. I know. David's like, sigh. Let me show batch runs. Maybe it's because there's no regular runs. Maybe if I control F5 a lot, that'll make it work. But at any rate, I don't know why it's so slow for me today. I know. Hold on. Kieran's like, haha. I know, dude. Every time I'm about to do a demo, sometimes it's slow down. I just looked at this earlier, so I don't know why it's not working. But here's where these evaluations would show up, and the UI is so good. Like here. Let me close this. AI.azure.com. Oh, it is just being upset with me. Some icons were re-registered. Third-party cookies will be blocked. Yeah, they will. Oh. Wow, this is a lot of. This is so much code. Wow, this is so many. So yeah, that's where the evals show up eventually. But I'm just not going to show up. It doesn't like me today. But for those, I am sorry. I have no, Rohit. This was like a Q&A thing. Yeah, we could definitely have a part 2 because there's other things I'll show you. Absolutely. There they are. That was okay. By the way, notice that today is March 4th, and I ran these like this morning, right? So I want to show you. So there's this notion of the run, right, where you actually run the thing, and then there's a notion of the scores. So, for example, notice that these are the scores for this, and you get all the outputs. Like these are all the 4 that scored them on, right? Oh, look at that. Looks like we got a 1 on groundedness. What is going on here, Mr. Copilot? Summit Climber backpack. Why did it score so badly? Oh, yeah, the rain guard hiking. This is a problem, right? So notice that it should have asked more. So this is the whole thing, right? This is the context that it got. This is the answer that it got. So it looks like it retrieved like jackets instead of climbing gear, right? And so it looks like we may not have climbing gear, and so this may be a problem with our store, right? And so that's why I think that score is down. But otherwise, we're doing pretty good across the way, and this just indicates to us that we have a problem with our inventory because we don't have any climbing gear. We should have answered no. Like it should have looked at this context and been like, none of that is climbing gear. Okay. So then what Cassie did is we wanted to see if it would handle support questions too. And you're going to see, and we'll do this next week. That under evaluation, oh no, don't do this to me again. Oh, it didn't do it to me. So we're going to show batch runs. I'm going to show you that when we try to give it all the data, notice that when we started asking it support questions, all of our scores went down. So we had to make a fix. All right. So, my friends, this has been another episode of the AI Show. Thank you so much for being with us. It's always a privilege to talk to every one of you. I know your time is valuable. Next time on the AI show, I'm not sure what we're doing, but it's going to be awesome. I'm out of town the next couple of weeks. I'll be in Paris next week, and then I'll be in Berlin and in Sao Paulo to meet with anyone who wants to talk to me. Thank you so much for being with us, and hopefully we'll see you next time on this, the AI show. Take care.